He has 9.1 million followers on TikTok. He just hit 600K on YouTube. Congrats, Dylan, on 600K. And we're here doing a little video for you guys. So, Dylan, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. Life is good. Had a long shift today, but here we are now, right?
Yeah, nice.
So Dylan, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself, just for my audience to know a little bit about you?
Yes. So I make ice cream. That could consist of me making ice cream cakes, regular ice cream, all kinds of weird things, from tiny little ice creams to ginormous ice creams. But yeah, for the most part, I make ice cream.
Amazing. I love that intro. I say I make subs. That's a very good way to put it. I make ice cream. So all right. In case my audience doesn't know, I'm sure a lot of my audience knows who Dylan is already. He makes incredible content working at Cold Stone Creamery. Not even just Cold Stone anymore. He goes all around working with different ice cream shops and different shops in general. You went to a paint place the other week. You went to this vintage clothing place. You've been all over, Dylan. So where do you think all this will take you?
Honestly, I don't know. That's the funnest part about it all, is I never expected to get here in the first place. It was almost been a year ago since I started posting videos, and I was just sharing my life at work. And so now I'm just sharing my life wherever that goes. So 90% of my life is usually ice cream, but then that other 10% I also make videos about. So wherever my life takes me, that's where this is going to go. So I guess we all get to enjoy that fun journey together.
Dude, that's amazing. That other 10% is really cool too, I gotta say. You're always doing some pretty cool stuff. You flew a plane that.
I know.
You don't just stumble upon doing that. It's insane.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. I'm who would have thought that I would be able to fly a plane? What the heck? It's crazy. And he actually turned the controls over to me. It wasn't fake. He actually was here, this is what you have to do. It was so chill about it. I was dude, this is a plane. This isn't a joke. But obviously he knew what he was doing, else he wouldn't let me do that. But yeah, it was crazy.
Dude, that is so crazy. The pressure of just flying in the sky all by myself, that's nuts. So I want to talk a little bit about your experience working at Cold Stone, because you've been working for how long now again?
Yeah, it was just weird. It's I kind of work there, but I kind of don't work there. It's complicated. But I started February 8th of 2012. And so it's been over 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
crazy. Yeah, right? It's so crazy. It blows my mind. I was 15 when I started working there. I couldn't even drive a car. To give you context of who I was, it's just insane to think about how long ago that was, and how different of a person I was, and how much I've grown. And it's been such a big part of my life. Think through all of the milestones, from getting my license to graduating high school to college to graduating college to becoming a young adult. That's all been with Cold Stone, which is the weirdest thing to think about.
Dude, that is so cool to think about. That's just it's a staple. It's just an imprint forever into who you are. And that's kind of the same way with Subway with me. That's it's a pretty cool thing to think about. Is there any specific reason that you picked Cold Stone or picked making ice cream? Or
no, I just had a friend that worked there, and he was hey, do you need a job? And he's I'll teach you how to decorate cakes, and I like to learn things, as you know from watching my videos. Yeah. And so I was yeah, of course, I'd love to do that. And so he taught me how to decorate cakes, and then I enjoyed it, and I just stuck with it. So I actually learned how to decorate cakes before I even learned how to scoop and chop, fold, and all that fun stuff.
Dude, that's so cool. So that friend, you're still friends with that friend?
Yeah, I'm actually still friends with him, which is funny because if you watch my first video that blew up on YouTube, it's kind of paints him in a bad light. But it took some time, but we've repaired all that, and things are fine now. It's been years. It's been 9 years since then. Yeah. So
dude, that's amazing. So that friend really imprinted who Dylan Lemay became, right? That's a crazy thought, man. So I talked about my first day working at Subway quite a bit on my channel. I really honed in on how hard it was for me. What do you have anything particular that happened your first day, your first couple weeks at Cold Stone that I think I've heard a little bit about this before, but I'm sure my audience love this.
Yeah, no, so that's actually my first video that blew up, that was pretty much what it was about. It was about my first day, and then also my first few weeks, because I'm just really bad at learning things for the first time. I know it's funny because I show you a lot of that, and it looks like I'm a natural now, but that's just because I apply the skills that I've already learned to something new. But if it's something brand new, my brain just cannot process new movements. And so I was so nervous, I was so excited, but also just so scared about having my first job. And so I just was so confused about everything, doing dishes, something that's simple that I should kind of just know how to do. I would just ask way too many questions, and it's to the point where he even joked around and was don't make me regret hiring you, because I was asking so many dumb questions. Yeah. But I messed so many things up, I ended up actually getting fired. So It's all good though.
Dude, it happens, man. Look where you are now. I bet that was
I
the
know.
biggest regret, firing Dylan. Imagine
Yeah.
firing Dylan
It all
Lemay
worked
from
out.
Coldstone, man. That's like,
It happens.
it happens, man. It does happen. Dude, that's so insane because now I'm sure most of my audience knows, and maybe if Dylan's audience is watching as well, you guys most likely know. I came down to Florida and made ice cream with Dylan, and the way that Dylan makes ice cream is the craziest thing that I've ever seen in my life. Dylan, you're literally throwing it around. You're like playing with two spades at one. Like I had the hardest time making like my first few, and then Dylan's just like over here throwing it in the sky, like just casually catching it. Like, bro, you're a real like professional at making ice cream. Like it's incredible.
I really appreciate it. I mean, it's funny when you think about it. I mean, I would really hope I'd be at least like decently good after the amount of time and amount of ice creams I've made. But the thing is, like, I'm not trying to sound humble. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm actually not that good for how long I've been there. I've just worked and practiced to get to the point that I'm at, but I'm not a very coordinated person, and stuff like this doesn't come easy to me. So a lot of this is just practice over time. But if somebody is coordinating all that stuff and they put in the time that I have, they would blow your mind. Like, I've seen some of the people that what they can do within a few months that are coordinated, and it's insane. But I really appreciate your compliments. It's a lot of fun to get to the point where I'm at now. It makes work a lot more fun,
dude. And that I gotta say, that's a fun job too, making ice cream.
For sure.
Also, you're way too humble, Dylan. I saw you throwing ice cream in the air and almost like you're throwing it in people's cups. But like, that's like such a cool job to just like have. I mean, my like few days down there, I was like, I couldn't think of like a more fun job just playing around with ice cream. Well, I mean, Subway's kind of fun too, but just playing around with ice cream, like throwing it around, like people. Oh my god, it's just like, how can I ask, like, how do you not eat ice cream every day? Because if I was working that job, I'd probably be like 300 pounds by now.
You do. So like the simple answer is you just eat ice cream every day. Like I just do it. But like the problem is I mean, I've done it for so long that I kind of eat smaller portions now. And so like I've gone through waves and seasons of my life. I mean, obviously, like I told you, it's 9 years, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, there's been times where, like, I don't eat ice cream that often. Or, like, in college, we would get the Cold Stone I worked at, I got a free ice cream every day. And so what I would do is I would just give those ice creams away instead of eating them myself. So, like, I would just each day, like, try to make new friends, you know? So, like, I would just meet somebody, like, hey, like, what's your favorite ice cream? And then that day, I'd take them ice cream. And so it was, like, a fun way for me to not eat ice cream and then also meet people.
Dude, that's amazing. That is such a smart idea, especially if you're, like, in college meeting new people. Dude, who doesn't love ice cream, right? Free ice cream? You kidding me?
Yeah. And I mean, food is like the key to everyone's heart. And I mean, ice cream is like the expressway to people's heart. So,
dude, exactly. That's crazy. That's such like a smart idea. How is so you worked in college at Cold Stone while being a full-time student?
Yeah. Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, so honestly, I say this all the time, but if you're struggling in college, it just means you don't have good friends. Because in college, I killed myself during school, and I look back, and the only reason why I realized I did that was because all of the people around me were doing the same thing. And so it just seems so normal, and I look at it now, and like, we were all just insane. Like, I don't understand. One of my friends, he was dual enrolling, like tricking the two schools so that he could take 27 credit hours and then also work 3 jobs and then graduate in 4 years with 2 bachelor's degrees debt free. Like that's how that's like insane. That was like my best friend in college. And so like looking at somebody doing all of that, I was just looking at him thinking I wasn't doing anything. But I look back and I'm like, I'm a full-time student. I'm working like tons of hours. I was an RA for 2 years. Like I was doing all this stuff, but I felt like I wasn't doing anything because my friends were all doing so much more. One of them was like taking a bunch of classes and was married and had a kid and like all this stuff. God. And I'm just doing my thing. So I look back and I'm like, I killed myself and I did so much work, but I really felt like I was doing nothing compared to everyone else.
Dude, that is crazy. You told me that story about your friend, and I still can't believe that. Wait, you were an RA?
Yeah, I was my junior year, I was like an alternate RA, so I was just kind of like backup, and it's kind of like you're in training. And then everyone got married, and so they weren't living in the dorms anymore. And so then I got bumped from like the sidekick all the way to like the head guy my senior year.
Wow. Any funny RA stories? Like anything crazy happened while you were in school, or was it just kind of all
there's a lot of, I'm trying to think of like one that's like suitable for like this platform. My sister was dating this one guy and I didn't care for him because he's just like a goofball.
Is your sister okay with us talking about this?
Yeah, she'll be fine.
Right,
perfect. She'll be fine. No, so this kid is just such a goofball, and like he knew it, and so then he would just try to like mess with me even more. But like I could write him up, and he could get in trouble, and he'd have to pay fines. So I'm like, I don't know why you're trying to mess with me. So like one day he took like a plunger and like broke it, and then like put shaving cream and like stuck the plunger to my door. It was like so dumb, like stupid. But I got to write him up and charge him for it. So fun stuff. Yeah,
pranks with the bill, man.
Yeah,
that's funny. All right, I have a question that I really wanted to ask. You can refrain from answering this. I think I've told you about this before. I don't call there's a certain name that I don't use anymore. Let's call it the K word. I like to call them entitled customers. Do you get a lot of these?
Honestly, it depends on what state I'm in. So as you know, I worked at like I think this one is either like my 13th or 14th location. I'd have to go through and count them to be sure. But Michigan, there's a lot of them, and they come in all shapes and sizes, and it's just very different. Like the average customer that I would help in Michigan, they almost just feel like a Karen compared to when I was in Missouri, where everyone is just like nice.
Did you just say the word, Dylan?
Oh, I did say the word.
I'm kidding.
But that's what you were referring to. Yeah, so for the people that didn't understand, that's what he was trying to say. It took me a second. I thought into it way too much. But yeah, no, it definitely happens a lot. I mean, people, you would think that everyone's happy and joyful when they get ice cream, but in reality, a lot of people eat ice cream to feel better about themselves and better about what's going on in their lives. So some people will be pretty triggered over their ice cream.
What an insight. I would have never thought that, but that is so true. Yeah, that's literally like one of the only reasons that I'll ever eat ice cream. Just like had a bad day, need to pick me up. Nice little Cold Stone Bowl or just a little ice cream that always picks me back up. Dude, that's like that's such a cool insight.
Yeah, you learn that real quick when everyone comes in. You're like, oh, how are you doing today? And they're like, bad. And you're just like, oh, yeah. Didn't think about that. This is ice cream.
Yeah.
So then you have to figure out how to respond to that kind of a reply.
That's interesting, man. That is very that's a very cool insight. So do you ever have like any customers just like, because dude, this happens to me all the time at Subway, but like do you ever have any customers just bambling to you about their day, like, and keep going on and on, like, and they like just start revealing like the most personal information? You're just kind of like, whoa, man. Like,
so yeah, that actually happens a lot. But the type of person I love stuff like that. So I usually will like just really enjoy the conversation, just ask good questions and try to help them best I can. Unless there's like a line, if there's a line, then I try to cut it off because I have to help the other people. But I actually enjoy stuff like that. That's kind of stuff I love.
Dude, I think that's the best part of like a service shop. I think that's like one of the reasons that everyone should have one, because like you get to see so many different perspectives. But there are times like I love talking to customers. Like that's like probably the only thing that like kind of takes you through like the shift very quickly is like just talking to these different people. But like sometimes there's some very personal information revealed. I think the worst that I've ever had, and I don't think I've ever shared this story before, but I'll say it right now. I had a guy come in that told me that his wife just cheated on him, and that was like, that's like heavy stuff to be hearing when you're making a sandwich, and it's just like,
especially when you're not expecting it.
Yeah, it just comes out of
like
nowhere.
That's the blind side. Yeah,
dude, that was just like,
how you doing today? My wife cheated on me.
Dude, that's what he literally. He walked in. I go, hey man, how's your day going? He goes, it could be better. I go, oh man, why is that? He's like, well, just found out that my wife was having an affair, and I'm like, oh my god, I thought you were gonna tell me like you stubbed your toe. I don't know. It's there's some great people that come in all the time.
It's like so what do you think? I'm sure you don't remember, but what do you think you replied to that? And if you don't remember, then what would you reply to that?
I think I could tell you that I probably said something along the lines of, oh man, I'm so sorry to hear that, but like she doesn't deserve you. Like if I could go back now and say, I'd be like, you're a king, she don't deserve you, king. Like all that stuff. But like back then there was no king talk, so I was like, yeah man, like listen, life happens. Like I know plenty of people that like well, I don't, if I'm being honest, I don't know anybody that like got divorced because of their wife cheating on them, but like I like tried to sympathize with them. That's what I usually try to do when someone has a bad day. And dude, the free cookie works wonders. Like I talk about this all the time. I definitely didn't give that guy a free cookie, but like I have a lot of people that come in that like will be having a rough day, and I'll be like, do you want a free cookie? And they'll be like, I will have a free cookie. But yeah, those situations are really tough. I try to like alleviate situations as best as I can, but sometimes it's tough.
Especially with that.
I have this question for you. So Dylan, you've grown so quickly on social media. You have I want to say it's been a little over a year, or is it still under a year?
It's still under a year. Yeah,
still
TikTok,
under your-
it'll be
wow.
May 4th. Yeah.
Oh my God. So you might hit 10 million before 1 year on TikTok. Knock on wood. You're at
Yeah, I'll have to
9.1
really
million right
grind
now.
for that. But yeah.
That's insane. And you've been on YouTube for what? Like, you really started posting like a little under a month, right?
Yeah, so I mean, technically, I started like really posting like 2 weeks ago,
Amazing.
and then I posted like my first video like at the end of December, but I really started posting like about 2.5 weeks ago.
And you're already at 600K.
Yeah, it's insane.
Incredible. If there's anybody out there right now that is looking to start their first TikTok account or YouTube account, what piece of advice would you give to them?
Don't try to go viral. Don't try to be like famous. Don't try to do like, because then you're just gonna get sucked into the game and you're gonna lose your mind. So just have fun with it and just keep crafting your videos and keep learning and having fun. And then those things might come, but if they don't, then you won't be disappointed. But if that's your goal, then you're just gonna be digging for that thing that you may never get, because you're not guaranteed to go viral or blow up or become something.
What best advice I think I've ever heard?
I was gonna say, in short, I guess it would be have your goal. How was I about to word it? Sorry, it was like have your goal. I don't know. I don't remember. Let me think of how to sum it up. I had it summed up, and it slipped my brain.
No, but you said it perfectly. You see all these people like trying to just instantly do things to go viral, and even if they do go viral, it's like, okay, you got your million view video, but now what? And then that's a real problem for a lot of people. So like
100%.
Just being yourself, doing the. I mean, dude, like look at us. You work at Cold Stone,
Exactly.
you work at Subway, like, and we've built these like huge platforms that like it's crazy. You just have to do the things that you already love doing, and
Exactly.
couldn't agree more with you, Dylan.
And that's one thing that I love that you pointed out, because that's one thing that took me a long time to learn from all of this, is that we didn't blow up overnight. Like I've been doing this for 9 years, and you say, oh, like Dylan throws ice cream, does all this crazy, like the stuff that I do in my videos, decorating cakes, throwing ice cream, scooping ice cream, my job, like that stuff I've been doing since I was 15 years old. I'm going to turn 25 this year. Like what in the world? You know what I mean? Like I've been doing that for so long, and you grew up at Subway. Like that's stuff that came to you. And then not even just the Subway stuff, not even just me doing ice cream. It's like every little thing that's been put into our lives is built us into the people that we are right now. So it's not that we blew up yesterday. This is stuff that our whole lives has made us to be these people that we can present it in a way that made us blow up, you know?
Dude, I'm so happy you just said that. It is overnight success does not exist at a large scale. Like the thing that you just said, the 9-year thing, is so true. I would love to go like deeper into this, but Dylan, I think for today we might be out of time. Thank you so much for coming on to the channel. You have the next 30 seconds. Plug away. Do whatever you like, Dylan.
All right. Well, I was just gonna say thank you so much for having me. Honestly, you were one of the greatest friends I met from all of this. So if everything else went away tomorrow, I'm just thankful that I got to meet you and got to hang out with you. But yeah, I would just say for everyone watching, we're thankful for you guys, and that we wouldn't get to do any of this without you, and you changed all our lives. So thank you so much. We love making these videos, and we love getting to meet other people that love doing this as well.
Well said, Dylan. Well said. You know, people are gonna love this like video. Like there's gonna be like the comments are gonna be full of like, I love this collaboration. I mean, it's already happened, right?
It's just a sample of what's to come when I finally get to see you again.
Dude, exactly. We're gonna get Dylan out to Subway, everybody. Don't you worry.
We're working on it.
Amazing. All right, so go check out Dylan on YouTube, TikTok. He's got 9.1 million on TikTok. He's got 600,000. Let's get him to 1 million on YouTube. Hopefully by the end of, if they could do by the end of this month, like it's some record numbers. So he'll be linked down below in the description. Yo, thank you all for watching this video so much. Make sure you like it, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Go check out Dylan right now. Thank you guys. Have a beautiful and blessed day. And remember,
thank you.
Fresh. Thank you, Dylan.